Hey, Griffin event, right? Mythological creatures? If that doesn't remind you of Percy Jackson, I don't know what you're doing. Besides that, if you don't already know, the Griffin event is based on the sole fact that you need to have a Griffin pet equipped and you need to have an Ancestral Spade. With the right click ability of the Ancestral Spade, you can find Griffin burrows, and once you dig those up, you can summon mobs or you can find special items in these burrows. The best known weapons for this event are Giant Sword, Emerald Blade, or your Sword of Revelations. But there's one missing weapon from that list, the Midas Staff. With the new Mythological event and all of the Scorpius and F7 items that have been recently added to the game, the Mythological event is actually easier to run as a mage than a berserker. This thick weapon is expensive as fuck, and only works for the richest players, as a Midas Staff that does the most damage will cost you 100 mil to buy on AH, and even more right now. Right now, I'm doing, I don't know, about 900k damage per hit. But, what if I told you there's a way to be doing even more damage with this Midas Staff? Do you know that most player mobs in Skyblock have the tag of zombie? Well, there's an item made specifically for mages that works better on undead mobs. This item is the Shadow Goggles. If you switch out Shadow Goggles for your Storm Helm, which is even cheaper to run because these types of Storm Helms right now are about, like, I don't know, 25 mil, 30 mil. Now Midas Staff is already going to set you back a pretty penny. And if I use this ability on this zombie right here, I'm doing 1.3 million damage. That's kind of insane. The only downside is that it works only on undead mobs, so it doesn't work on Gaia constructs, and that it has a 1 second cooldown. But if you get a Gaia construct, you can just go into your inventory real quick, shift click out instead of shift click in your Storm Helm, and then easy dub. The reason this makes such a difference is because with my current setup, I can kill champions that I normally had to kill and do a lot of damage over like 5 minutes in under 20 seconds. The speed of farming myth creatures with this set is so insane that I can easily clear like 60 burrows an hour, which makes me like 5 mil to 6 mil from Griffin feathers. Additionally, you make a ton of money from getting dwarf shelmets, souvenirs, crowns of greed, and ancient claws while having a great time with friends. One more downside to this setup is the fact that if you're running mage for Mythological event, it's gonna be a bit hard to kill Inquisitors, as by the time you run out of mana, you've only done about 20 mil damage. And that's why I normally run with a party, so that when I run out of mana, someone swoops in and helps me finish killing whatever the hell I'm fighting. The current setup that I am running, both for 4-7 dungeons and for this event, is 3/4 Storm with a Loving Wise chestplate, and everything Wisdom 5 recommed. Well, not Wisdom 5. 2 of my pieces are Wisdom 3. I should probably fix that. However, this is by no means a cheap setup because the weapon you must use is insane, and it has to be a Midas Staff. However, that's not exactly true. You can cheap out by not recomming or starring your armor. You could also use a Wise armor set instead, and you don't have to have a Midas Staff as a weapon. You could probably get by with epic Griffin mobs with a Spirit Scepter or a Frozen Scythe. And instead of a Storm Helm, you don't exactly have to be able to swap from Shadow Goggles to Storm Helm. You could probably just run with Shadow Goggles and be fine. But anyways, let's hop into a time lapse of me clearing some of these Griffin burrows. So, yeah. see, over the past 10 minutes of hard grinding, I've finished about 6 burrows, and I've gotten about 7 griffin feathers. So, in total, if I sold the drops to the bazaar for my past 10 minutes of farming, I'd already have made 305k. And this is with no rare drops and me messing up a couple of times. If I actually full on tryharded for 10 minutes, I'd probably make 10 to 15 griffin feathers, and I'd have, I don't know, maybe 3 enchanted ancient claws to sell to the bazaar at this point, and some more golden iron. So, overall, as you can see, Mythological event is way better with running mage than running berserker. And lastly, subscribe to my YouTube channel.